The search for gold. John was a 40-year-old man living in a small village in India. He was greedy, miser, and selfish. He hated the poor and he was always thinking of new ways to get money. He wanted as much money as possible. One day, he was sitting under the banyan tree which was in the middle of the village. Villagers would often sit under the tree and talk about this and that. It was evening time and there were a couple of people sitting under the same tree as well. So, when Sam was returning from the village yesternight, he heard that sound. Definitely, there is something inside of that well. The other remarked, yes, there is no doubt in that. I even have heard that the well sometimes gleams at night. Yellow light seems to be emerging from that mysterious well. Who knows what it is? Listening this, John got really excited. He had heard that there is a mysterious well in the forest, and for a while there has been rumors regarding it in the village. John inched closer to those villagers and asked, "What else do you know about that well?" A villager, who was the most senior of all, looked at John. He took a puff of biri and replied, "Look, we do not know the full details. But for a while, the mysterious well is in gossips in our village and the villages nearby. Some people say that they have heard strange sound while passing from that way. Some claim that they saw yellow light. One thing is sure, one should be very careful while traveling on that route. And above all, one must really avoid going to that well." John listened this and got up. "Okay, I am sleepy. I'm going now," he said. While he was going home, he thought, can it be gold that glows at night? He had made up his mind to go to that well. At first, he decided to take a companion with him, but then he thought, if there is really gold there, I will have to share the gold with my companion. So, I will go alone. The next morning he took a staff in his hand and some food. He did not say anything to anyone in the village. By evening he had reached to the mysterious part of the forest. The sun was about to set. John did not think of any danger because the love of gold had overwhelmed his heart. He started to slowly proceed towards that well. In his stuff, he had packed a backpack with some snacks, a flashlight, and a rope. He sneaked towards the well. His heart was throbbing not because he was afraid but because he was about to find tons of gold. He followed a narrow path that led him deeper and deeper into the greenery. He saw birds, monkeys, and snakes along the way. He felt excited and scared at the same time. After walking for a while, he reached a clearing. There he saw a large stone well with a wooden cover. It looked old and abandoned. John approached it cautiously and lifted the cover. He peered inside and saw nothing but darkness. He turned on his flashlight and pointed it down the well. He saw a ladder that went down into the abyss. He thought of the gold that was at the bottom of the well. He decided to climb down at once and take all with him. He tied one end of his rope to a nearby tree and the other end to his waist. He grabbed the ladder and started to climb down. He felt a cold breeze coming from below. He heard strange noises that sounded like whispers and groans. He kept climbing down until he reached the end of the ladder. He looked around and saw a large cavern with a pool of water in the center. The water was glowing with a faint blue light. He saw something moving in the water. He walked closer to the pool and shone his flashlight on it. He gasped when he saw what was in the water. It was a creature that looked like a human, but with scales, fins, and gills. It had long hair, sharp teeth, and glowing eyes. He still had time to go back. But once greed controls one, nothing can be done. He moved further. It was a mermaid. The mermaid saw John and smiled. She swam closer to him and reached out her hand. "Hello," she said in a soft voice. John, who was now standing in that pool of water. The rope was hung beside him and he was absent-minded looking around. "Where must be the gold?" he whispered to himself. "Hey," said the mermaid once again. Now, John was speechless. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Who are you?" he asked. "I'm Maya," she said. "Where did you come from?" he asked. "I came from the sea," she said. "How did you get here?" he asked. "I followed a stream that led me here," she said. "Why are you here?" he asked. "I'm looking for something," she said. "What are you looking for?" he asked. She looked at him with a mysterious smile. "You," she said. John felt a chill run down his spine. "What do you mean?" he asked nervously. She moved closer to him and touched his face. "You are the one I've been waiting for," she said. "What are you talking about?" he asked. She inched closer a little bit and her eyes sparkled. She smiled, looking at John. At this point, John could sense that the smile was not a simple one but a devilish one. John felt a shock go through his body. He tried to pull away, but she held him tight. She whispered in his ear, "You are my mate." John felt his eyes widen in horror. He realized too late that he had fallen into a trap. He was not looking for the mermaid. He was looking for gold. The mermaid was not looking for love. She was looking for food.